When you've got a salesperson who's then in a little room in the company doing 8 Zooms in a day on their own, and then the next day they're not in the office at all because they've got 3 meetings.
Yes.
How do you ensure or how does one manage the sales team to make sure that people are staying on strategy and that it's working?
Yeah, there's a few strands to that. That's an interesting question. I think the ultimate answer, as far as I'm concerned, is that every frontline person should have their own personal sales plan. So you manage them then to their own personal sales plan. So they have come up with their plan. So they know what the overall strategy is. They know what's expected of them at a sort of revenue, number of deals, whatever you want to call it level. But then they have broken that down and worked it out themselves. Right. So where am I going to devote my quantity, direction, quality of activity? And I think that's when the magic, because now you've got a document, you've got something that you're working to as their sales manager or as their sales leader. You've got a framework for discussion and coaching around that. To a certain extent, yes, you've got to trust them to get out there. They are going to be out and about. You can't watch them. But actually, if they're working a sales plan and you're sitting down with them once every month and having a one-to-one with them and reviewing that plan, you get visibility activity pretty quickly, and you can see, are they doing it or aren't they, and which activities are working. And I think the important point is it's a personal sales plan. You actually want to put accountability onto them. I mean, one of the great things I've always loved about working with salespeople is, generally speaking, they're very proactive people. Yeah. They get things done. You wouldn't go into sales unless you're the sort of person who wants to be accountable for your own activity. But I think what's often missing is, as you say, they're very independent. So a lot of the time they'll think, well, I've got my way of doing it. It's almost like a top secret, It's like, that's why people say it's a black art, So they don't want to share it with anyone. And I think good sales leaders get onto that very quickly and just say, no, that's not happening. Because if you're a superstar, I want to know exactly what you're doing so we can translate that to the rest of the business so other salespeople can learn from it. And I expect you to do it. It should just be an expectation of the job, really. But that, I think, is how you connect sales strategy to sales activity. Is the route is through personal sales planning, and well thought through personal sales planning. We're not just letting people go off and wing it. It's linked to how much activity do we need to do and how many deals. You break it all down, and it's perfectly doable. And there are processes to reverse plan it all. I think people often get frustrated because sales is not like a car manufacturing plant where you put in a certain amount of raw material at one end and a certain number of cars pop out the other. And the reason for that is it's not an enclosed factory. So you can put in a certain amount of opportunities here, and then your team get to work trying to move it through the factory. The problem is the competition are diving in the windows, and grabbing bits of it. And, sometimes something happens to the client themselves, something changes in their world, which means that the deal can't happen. But, that just means to me, you've got to have, that increases the importance of rigor around how you are managing that sales operation and all the activities that are happening. And I think visibility and transparency of all of that is really important. What you can't have is an operation that's operating like a black magic machine that no one knows what's going on. There's no reason for that. Make it visible, let everyone share in it, and then everyone understands the problems and challenges. And I think it also stops, conflict between operations and other parts of the business who are saying, what the hell are these salespeople doing? They're out there all the time, and every now and then a deal comes in, but I don't know whether it's, I don't know whether they're playing golf the rest of the time. That shouldn't be the case. You should know. A good sales leader would know, I know exactly what my people are doing. I know exactly how they're operating because I'm close to it.